What up, fam? It's Naj. We're built by plants. Let's talk about one of the most demoralizing situations that so many vegans and plant-based people find themselves in, year out. Now, maybe you've been losing weight over the past few weeks, maybe few months, and you actually got to an ideal goal of losing maybe 30 pounds, but you found yourself being skinny fat. Now, if you don't know what skinny fat is, essentially for your height, you have a relatively low body weight, but you still have some love handles, you still have some lower belly fat, maybe some chest fat. But when you look from afar, you look thin, right? Maybe even when you have your shirt on, you look skinny. That's the definition of skinny fat, to put it vaguely. So what do you do now? You already done lost about 30 pounds, all right? You already done cut down. So you just continue to cut down even further so you can get rid of that last little belly fat? Or should you just stop your weight loss process and start maybe like a lean bulk and start trying to bulk up more? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to give you a live example of one of my current clients, how I helped them overcome this, and some mistakes that so many vegans make when they're trying to reach their body goals that end up putting them in this position of being skinny fat. I'm going to give you the solution of what you need to be doing. And if you're not skinny fat, you still want to watch this because it's going to help you avoid these mistakes. All right, let's get to it. So here's exactly how most vegans and plant-based people end up being skinny fat. And I'm going to use the example of my client, Jeremy, because I helped him fix this situation. And now he's in the Built by Plants Hall of Fame with this transformation. Now check it out. Prior to Jeremy joining the BBP coaching program, he was already on a path to getting better, to getting healthier, to looking better, to feeling better. He was overweight and he knew it. So he started losing some weight. He knew the principles of fat loss after doing some research and realized he had to be in a calorie deficit. So he did that. On top of that, he realized that cardio was a big factor when it comes to accelerating weight loss. So he was already doing marathon runs, playing basketball. So he just doubled down on what he was doing. So the scale was going down. He was losing 5, 10, 15 pounds, so on and so forth, feeling motivated and just good about what he was doing. Now, the issue that Jeremy didn't see arising was the fact that he wasn't just losing fat in the process. He was losing weight, but he was also losing muscle. And the big reason for this was because he wasn't prioritizing weightlifting. He never lifted weights in his life, never really knew what it took. He was a little bit intimidated and just never really prioritized it. He also wasn't eating enough protein. Not purposely, but just never really paid attention to it or didn't really view it as a thing to prioritize. And obviously there was periods of time throughout the year where he fell off, right? So maybe it'll be a vacation come up and he'll gain maybe 5 or 10 pounds or so. And then the holidays. So it was a lot of up and down. Plus Jeremy travels a lot for work. So obviously a lot of you all that travel, you understand how difficult it can be to have a consistent way of eating. So maybe he'll gain 5 pounds, but he already put together this protocol that he was going to do, the cardio, the whole plant food diet, the calorie deficit, and he was going to use that to help him get back on track if he did fall off. Now, something that I talk about that a lot of people don't really speak on is the fact that consistency itself is not always important, all right? Depending on your specific goal. If you have a certain goal and you're going the wrong way towards that goal and you're trying to get this way, just being more consistent isn't going to get you towards this goal, right? You have to be consistent at the right actions, going in the right direction. Because what was happening was the system that he had for weight loss was not effective towards the goals that he had in mind on how he wanted to look. It helped him keep good health, it helped him feel good, but it wasn't the picture that he had for himself. Because every time that he was gaining weight, he was primarily just gaining fat, not building muscle. And every time he was losing weight, he was losing fat plus muscle because he wasn't building any muscle in the process. So it was this cycle of gain fat, lose muscle, gain fat, lose muscle. Over time, his body composition, the way that his body was composed, was getting worse and worse following the specific system that he had in place. And that puts you in a situation where you still have a lot of fat to lose, but you also don't have a lot of muscle and you just look skinny. And it's not necessarily the most desirable situation to be in. And like I said, lots of vegans and plant-based people find themselves being skinny fat. And that's what we're going to talk about. Some mistakes to avoid this happening to you and how I helped Jeremy fix this situation. So let's talk about those mistakes that get you in this state. Number one was the diet, following wrong diet protocols. Now, the very first thing he was doing was perfect, which is being in a caloric deficit, which is the only way to technically lose weight, right? But when you combine that with maybe a lot of fasting, or you're also introducing a lot of cardio or extreme calorie deficits, what happens is you start to lose weight too quickly. And when you lose weight too quickly, you're not just losing fat, Like I said, you're losing muscle in the process. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with fasting. I personally do intermittent fasting pretty much every day. Maybe every once in a while on the weekend I have breakfast, but rarely, right? I do more of like a first meal at 1 or sometimes 2, sometimes 12. It depends. I'm not very strict on that specific time that I eat, but I do fast the morning away. But it is something wrong when you approach dieting and you're fasting too much and you're losing weight too quickly. And ideally, what you want to do is aim to lose about 1% per week. Going based off of a percentage of your body weight is a better approach, so you can have an idea of how much weight you should be losing per week. So if you're 200 pounds, maybe 2 pounds per week, right? You're 300 pounds, maybe 3 pounds per week. And it will fluctuate up and down based off of, you making corrections and things like that. But you don't want to lose weight too quickly is the main mistake. That once you actually start to get leaner, you want to lose weight probably a little bit slower. And the second part to that is that the leaner that you get, probably the slower you want to take it. So if you're under 20% body fat, you may want to go 0.5% of your body weight per week, right? So that you can hold on to your muscle mass a little bit more because you don't have as much fat as you had at 30% or 40%. Now, the second mistake that he was making was not getting in enough protein on the vegan diet. Right now, I know we have that whole joke in the space where it says where you get your protein, but it technically is true because a lot of vegans take it for granted. Right now, again, I'm not talking about for health, and I'm going to do a separate video on that specifically, and I'll link it below if I've already created it. At this point of you watching the video, you can completely get in as much protein as you need on a vegan diet. You will not be deficient. But we're not talking about deficiency. We're talking about the optimal amount of protein that you need to take in so that you can build muscle while you're dieting on a plant-based or vegan diet, so that you're not losing muscle in the process, but you're actually building. Because we're in a deficit of calories, which means less energy is coming to our body, and our body has to hold on to that muscle mass that it has as it's drawing from the fat storages so that we can continue to lose weight, right? Big difference than eating enough protein to be healthy. I'm talking about eating enough protein to build muscle and to look a certain way, right? You can do both. You can be healthy while also eating an efficient amount of protein for your body composition goals. So to keep it simple, what is my recommendation when it comes to protein intake? You want to go 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight, all right? Not your overall body weight, because if you're 350 pounds, there's nowhere I'm going to tell you to take in 350 grams of protein per day, all right? Go to your ideal body weight. So if you're 350 pounds and you want to cut down to 175 pounds, then aim for 175 grams of protein per day and let that be that, all right? It's very simple to get in, very easy. I'll do videos showing you specifically with meal plans that I design that can help you reach that protein intake. No problem. The reason why I'm stressing this so much is because so many people are out here saying they get enough protein. They know that they are, but they're not tracking. No idea. They know that they eat some protein, but they have no idea how much. They don't know the grams. They're not making their food from home. They're not logging the calories. They're not tracking the calories. They're not weighing anything out. They're just going based off of what they think. And if you don't have your ideal body right now, don't go based off of what you think, because what you think has gotten to you the position that you are in currently. And that's not to knock anyone. That's not to make you feel bad, but that's just reality, because some people need to hear that. And when you know a little bit better, you can do a little bit better. All right. So I'm trying to help you do a little bit better. So start tracking your calories that you're taking in, track the protein that you're taking in, so that you can be more specific towards reaching your body goals. Now, if you don't want to write down every gram of protein that you're taking in throughout the day, you want to log it into an app, you can go to the App Store, download the Built by Plants coaching app, which is a separate app from the Built by Plants Pocket Coach. It's called the Built by Plants coaching app, and there's a plan on there that's called logging and tracking. And this will allow you to log and track your meals, enter everything that you're eating throughout the day, so you can see how much protein that you're taking in, and they give you a full diary of everything that you took in, the calories, the grams of protein, the carbs, the fats, all that good stuff. Again, just go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, type in Built by Plants, and tap the one that says Built by Plants Coaching. Now, the next mistake that Jeremy was making was the fact that he was not lifting weights. So his body really had no reason to build new muscle, let alone hold on to the muscle that it has while he was dieting. Now, you're probably watching this video and you're like, I already lift weights. Trust me, I got that dialed in. Why am I still skinny fat? Well, what I want to ask you is, how specifically are you lifting weights? Are you following a protocol? Are you following a program that's built on progression? If I was to look at your logbook or your app, will I see constant progression throughout the years? Are you still lifting the same amount of weight for the same amount of reps, for the same amount of sets, at the same tempo, at the same days every single week? Are you still doing the same things? there should be progression. And if you haven't been progressing, you probably haven't been following a specific program. If you have been following a program and you're still not progressing, maybe the program that you're following isn't the one that you should be following. If your goal is to change your body composition and stop being skinny fat, you need to focus on some key main lifts. And these can change based off of your flexibility, your mobility, what you can do, your injuries, all that, so on and so forth. All right. So don't take it, for gospel. Just take it with a grain of salt. But you always want to be doing a pulling movement, a pushing movement, a hinge movement, a vertical pull, a vertical push, a horizontal pull, a horizontal push, right? So to sum it up, let's just say a squat movement, right? That could be barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell, whatever you want to roll with. You should be doing a vertical push movement. So like a standing military press or a shoulder press, a hinge movement like deadlifts, a bench press, right? Some rows. You can get into some lat pull downs if you can't do any pull-ups right now, some dips. There's a lot of different protocols that you can do. If you join the Built by Plants Pocket Coach, I have tons of programs in there, especially if you're starting out. I recommend the Rebuild with Precision program, which is the starter program, and there's progression built on that as well. So if you're getting a little bit more advanced, you can follow the next steps within there. But you should be following a program that have you following the main movements, the main key lifts, and focus on getting stronger on those lifts, right? You shouldn't be going into the gym and doing a bunch of random stuff or, bench pressing a little bit. And then after that, just freestyling, doing what you feel that you want to do, what feels good, and avoiding the movements that you don't want to do, that you're scared of. That's not how you're going to change your body composition. If it's scaring you, then you probably should be doing it, right? It's probably beneficial. Because sometimes we need to go towards the things that we're scared of, the things that causes us fear. So if you're afraid of doing deadlifts, you should probably be doing more deadlifts. If you're afraid of bench pressing, you should probably be doing more bench pressing. And with proper technique. That's the other thing. A lot of people get in the gym and they spend so much time just lifting and lifting and lifting, and they're just like doing little pump work, right? That's not what you want to be doing. You want to get efficient at these movements, get stronger on these movements, and do it with good technique. Learn some cues so that you always put yourself in the best position when it comes to these movements. As you can see, it's a lot more than just going into the gym and just getting a few leg presses in, a few curls, and then wondering why you're not progressing, which is where I was at one point in my life. All right. So I'm giving you all this based off of experience, based off of coaching others, based off of knowing that this works. And this is how you be objective when it comes to your workouts and when it comes to what you're doing. What does the data say? What does your workout log say? Does it show you progressing, if not on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, right? Does it show you getting better? Are you recording your workouts so you can see how you're performing the movements? Have you ever recorded them? Do you even know what you look like when you're bench pressing? Do you even know what you look like when you're squatting, right? You should know these things so that you can learn the efficient movement patterns, so that you can know that you're doing the right things, you're exerting the right amount of force on the right parts of the movement. Now, I know a lot of you all are like, okay, well, clearly I've been working out, but not like this, right? You want to be objective. You want to be able to look and see that you've been getting better, and it's not based off of how you feel. It's based off of what the data says, all right? And you should be tracking. If you're not tracking, start tracking. Now, the last mistake that I see so many people making is not realizing that this is a long-term lifestyle. This is not a period of time where you just go through the motions and you just try to hurry up and get to the end result so you can go back to doing what you used to do. We're not doing that anymore. All right. We're making efficient changes, steady changes, and committing to slow growth, right? Let's just aim and think that it's going to be slow growth so that you're not overdoing your expectations. You have to commit to the process. The process is what's going to cause the results. And you have to learn to enjoy the journey. When I say enjoy the journey, I don't mean that cliche stuff. Figure out what you actually like to do. Because for you, maybe lifting weights, how I lift weights, won't be the exact same protocol, right? Maybe you don't enjoy doing barbell bench press. Maybe you want to do dumbbell bench press. Or whatever those movements may be, find variations that you do enjoy that also do push you and challenge you so that you can build something that you look forward to. Turn it into a game, like I always say. When it comes to the food, find the variations of proteins that you actually do enjoy eating. Find the variations of those main carb sources and leafy greens that work well for you specifically. Something that I use when it comes to dieting that helps me stay consistent regardless if I'm gaining weight or losing weight or maintaining is burrito bowls, right? You can always adjust the calories within them. You can add and swap out variations of different flavors and different foods foods, so many different type of beans, so many different type of rice. We got different type of seitan, different type of leafy greens, but it stays within that same category of being a burrito bowl. And it's something I can depend on, something I look forward to, and it helps me reach my actual goals. You got to figure out what are those things that help you enjoy the journey, enjoy staying consistent, that you want to do, and just experiment. But realize that this is a period of time that you have to dedicate yourself to. You can't just be viewing this as a short thing, a short-term solution. Everybody's results are not going to be at the same pace. Maybe it's easier for you to progress on the bench press than it is for me. Maybe it's easier for me to progress on deadlifts than it is for you. But just realizing that regardless of what happens, you're committed to this. Every single day you're going to show up and do what you need to do so that you can get to that goal, regardless if it happens next month or next year. Because we're about changing our habits. We're about changing our routines, our rituals, our lifestyle. And that's what's going to ultimately help you get to that ideal situation. And you're going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. So dedicate yourself to making this happen. Celebrate the small wins in between until you get to that ultimate goal. These micro goals are what's going to help you stay motivated and consistent. Maybe you hit a PR on the bench press that was only 2.5 pounds. Celebrate it like it was a 20-pound PR. If you're looking at your progress pic compared to 2 weeks ago and you see a small, subtle change within your biceps or your arms or whatever it may be, celebrate yourself for that. And I don't mean to celebrating with food, all right? Celebrate by doing a hobby that you enjoy so that you can make more progress. Focus on your effort, your progression, and just staying consistent in this overall world. And that's going to ensure that you're making progress on this journey to overcoming your skinny fat syndrome. And ultimately, don't compare yourself to other people, because you may see yourself looking skinny fat and you may see somebody else that was in the same position as you, and you may see the results that they were able to accomplish, right? Only focus on being the best version of yourself. I'll call it rebuild with precision. Build yourself through the eye of your own image, so the person that you know that you can ultimately become, fulfilling your full potential, not someone else's. Because when you compare yourself to somebody else, you'll never be satisfied with who you are and what you're doing. Hope you found this valuable. Hope this gave you some motivation, inspiration, and some ideas on what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing if you are skinny fat. If you're looking for the opportunity to work with me one-on-one and get these type of results like my client Jeremy, go ahead and tap down below and schedule a free coaching call, and we'll see if you're a good fit for our private coaching. Now, if you're self-efficient and you just want the tools, the resources, the courses, the community, and support, go ahead and become a member of the Built by Plants Pocket Coach, and I will see you there. In the meantime, check out this video. I want to invite you to join the Built by Plants Pocket Coach, which is our private community and app where I have all the tools, the resources, the courses, and the community to help you succeed towards your goals. We have an actual drag and drop meal plan builder that's going to allow you to grab foods that are inside of what we call the virtual kitchen. It's basically all of our plant-based recipes that have been designed to specifically work for the calories and the protein that you need so you can make some progress. You can take the meals out of the virtual kitchen and drag and drop them onto your meal plan builder. And every day, Monday through Sunday, it'll let you know what you're taking in, a recipe video to show you how to make them, also how many calories for that specific day, so you can stay structured. Also, it's going to give you a virtual grocery list so you can grab only what you need so you're not wasting money when you get into the grocery store. I know that sounds perfect, but let me tell you the rest. It's also have a private community and an actual app that you can download from the App Store or the Android store so you can post inside of our community. Similar to like Facebook without all the junk, this is specifically towards people that have goals, that want to see themselves succeed on a plant-based diet. Even if you've been plant-based for 15 years, you can always make progress towards how your body looks. And that's what this is geared towards. So all of our community members are posting their meals, they post their workouts, they ask questions, and every Sunday we meet on a Zoom call where we're connecting, we're growing, we're creating new recipes from scratch, we're meal prepping together, doing all type of cool things that's going to help you stay in line and stay mentally prepared and mentally focused so you can actually reach your goal, right? I know you only lost 20 pounds before, but guess what? It usually comes right back. Because you don't have no support, you don't have no accountability, you don't have no guidance, you don't have nobody in your life in this area that's helping you make progress. And that's what I want for you. Once you go to that next page, it's $27 per month in order to get the Pocket Coach. And you can cancel if you don't like it, but you're not going to cancel, you're going to love it. I will see you inside the Pocket Coach so I can help you make progress towards your goals. Stick with this lifestyle for the rest of your life. See you in a few.